and go to Cupcake Royale and patronize Jody's business or any of these other small businesses and patronize their business. That's a cost-benefit analysis for you right there. Take 20% away from people. Take 40 for 2 days sick. Take 60% of their income for being out sick for 3 days. And you want to know how Seattle's hurting? It's hurting because the average working person can no longer afford to live, shop, or even participate in this city.
To that?
Anybody want to respond to that? No.
I would just say thank you because that's the true voice that we need to hear. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm listening here and hearing this the real coalition. Well, I'm amazed. My name is Robbie Stern. I'm the president of the Puget Sound Alliance for Retired Americans. No one up there has spoken to the impact on seniors that it has to have people going to work sick at the grocery stores and at the restaurants. I can tell you right now that the people in my organization, the seniors in my organization, are very concerned about the fact that they have to go to stores or go to restaurants and risk getting sick, risk getting the flu, risk getting other infectious diseases. And that's why I would say your use of the term real coalition is really bogus. Because my organization is part of the Coalition for a Healthy Workforce. There's senior organizations, there's community organizations, there's religious organizations. Yes, there are labor unions and there are community organizations. Now, that's a real coalition, not a coalition of businesses. And seniors, I can tell you, are supportive of this. One, because we don't want our kids penalized. If they have to come and take care of us when we get sick, and many of our kids are because they don't get sick leave, and we don't want ourselves to have to go to places where people are going to be sick and catch those diseases. We can't afford to do that.
I'm going to let David defend himself on the real coalition. I think attacking him is pointless. But we're talking about scare tactics here about if I go to McDonald's, I'm going to die tomorrow. People, have you guys take a look at the study that
people are really dying from going to work sick.
Do you know how many
in the parking lot of Fred Meyer's or at Walmart? People are really dying, and I guarantee you, that the people who are losing family members will pay the extra quarter.
Tell me how many people.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, 1 out of every 6 Americans gets foodborne illness every year.
The Washington State Department of Health reported 30 of these cases last year. It has been trending downward for 20 years. Government regulations actually worked in this area where they've mandated that Washington State restaurants have to be super healthy. They're some of the healthiest restaurants in the nation. We live in a world of risk. You're going to get sick no matter what you do. You can hop on an airplane tomorrow. There's no regulation that says that if you're sick, you can't get on an airplane or go to Fred Meyer or
well, I tell you what, the next time I get diarrhea, I'm going to come sit on your desk.
The problem. We have to put this out there. This is not going to solve any huge problem we're talking about. These are scare tactics. Take a look at the data. This is what I do for a living. This is what Marilyn does as well. So let's take a look at what the data says. Let's respond to that. And let's try to leave some of this emotional hyperbole at the door, for God's sake.
And just one little quick response. I know Carl's used this talking point before in terms of that the number of reported instances of norovirus and other foodborne diseases has been quite low. But in fact, there's not a requirement for most businesses ever to report incidences, outbreaks in their place of business. And so, of course, they're not reported. No restaurant is going to voluntarily report, unless it gets into the newspaper somehow, that there was an outbreak at their restaurant. They're not required to, and so they don't do it.
Okay. And I don't have to report to the health department unless 20% of the school is homesick. It starts way before that. Okay, we're running out of time. Let's...
Great, I want to change the subject. My name is Bill Weiss. I'm the general manager of the Silvercloud Stadium Hotel. I have 138 employees, and we do provide benefits, but the main thing I want to talk about and have a question is remaining competitive, and this is for Seattle. And we have the highest occupancy tax, which is mandated by the City Council. We have also parking tax that's 22%. That is the second highest in the nation, only behind New York City. You talked about the B&O tax. You talked about making us very unattractive for people to come to Seattle. Now, what I'm looking at is you put this on us again, and we might as well put a closed for business, please go to Bellevue sign, okay? Because that's what they're doing. I have sister businesses in Bellevue, they're laughing their tail off right now. Say, go ahead, legislate the hell out of it and go forward from there. You want to say Seattle wants a conscience, that's fine. But you know what? It needs to be able to, small business owners will stay in business. Otherwise, you won't have a job and you won't have an opportunity to miss work because you won't have a job. We won't be able to go ahead and provide jobs for anybody. Okay? They will go someplace else. Right now, Seattle is fighting tooth and nail with the convention center that the state does not fund. And so they're trying to put more money on to us as the hoteliers to go ahead and pass it on to the next person. It's easy to go ahead and say that, say, pass it on. So if what you guys have said is this is going to be a fix-all situation, that's what I'm getting from this. How is it going to be that way? Because right now we don't have it. So is it going to go ahead and have everybody's going to be miraculously healthy? Everybody's going to show up for work. Everybody's going to be that way. And we're going to actually see productivity? I doubt it. Okay? But again, might as well put a closed sign and say, go to Bellevue. Okay? Thank you.
Right on, brother.
Hi, my name's Jeff Garfield. I'm one of the Tier 1 employers. I've been an employer for 40 years in Seattle. I have about 20 employees. My concern as a resident all my life of Seattle is that we've got vacancies all over the city. There are empty buildings attracting graffiti. Those buildings need to attract new businesses. We've lost an awful lot of them in the last few years. And if somebody's going to open a new business and they have costs, my business alone, this looks like it represents about $10,000. If I were starting a new business and I had a choice between Seattle or Shoreline or Bellevue or some other place that didn't have this tax or this requirement, I think that I might consider them. And I think at the time it is right now that it's more important that we fill our vacancies and get more revenue and more income from new business than to put burden on others. And I do agree that there should be some study. I know that I sit in my office and we've been quite busy, so I didn't know that there was any kind of public hearing on this. I didn't know if there was any place for input other than tonight. And it seems to me that you might want to let the business owners know so that they might participate in this, because right now I don't think they know about it.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me just ask right here, did I not hear that there's a 2-year exemption for startups? So that addresses one issue that you mentioned. If you wanted to start up in Seattle, there is a 2-year exemption for startups.
So they could charge less than me, and then when I couldn't compete, because they wouldn't have to pay the tax.
I'm just clarifying that there's a 2-year.
I'm just pointing out that.
Yeah. Okay.
My name is Vinod Goswami. So I hear a lot of talk about this regulation and mandate. Why we have to do it? Because we waited like 235 years for the business. They didn't respond. They never thought that the workers need sick leave. So that's why we are coming up with a mandate. That's what I think it's right, because otherwise this business, they can on their own, they would have provided the sick leave. And in the city of Seattle, 190,000 people, they don't have any kind of sick leave. So you guys were, if the employers would have been generous, they would have provided long time ago. So I'm taking this example of Starbucks today. The CEO of the Starbucks, if it's like he makes like $21 million, and then they provide in all other countries sick leave to their employees, and they provide sick leave to the people who work in the corporate office, and they don't have the money to provide the sick leave to their those baristas who work with the public and who can make them sick all the time. And so, can anybody explain me how this works? Is it not a shame on the society? We love this city. This is our city. We have to take care of this. So that's what I can never understand how the business will go down all the way, and everybody is threatening that we will leave this Seattle, we'll go to Bellevue, we will go to this place.